Have you ever wondered how a small act of kindness can light up the world? Just as a tiny pebble can create a series of ripples when tossed into a serene pond, so too can a single act of kindness send waves of positivity throughout the world. This is the power of goodness, a light that shines through the darkness, illuminating the world around us with hope and warmth. Now you might be thinking, how can my small act of kindness make such a difference? The answer lies in the interconnectedness of our world. Each act of kindness, no matter how small, can create a ripple effect, touching the lives of people far beyond our immediate circle. Imagine a world where every person performed just one random act of kindness each day. These singular acts would multiply, their impact spreading like wildfire, igniting a chain reaction of positivity. The result would be a world imbued with kindness, compassion, and empathy, qualities that are more important today than ever before. Kindness doesn't have to be grandiose. It can be as simple as lending a listening ear to a friend in need, sharing a smile with a stranger, or helping an elderly neighbor with their groceries. These seemingly insignificant actions can mean the world to someone else, lifting their spirits and brightening their day. In a world often weighed down by negativity, each act of kindness serves as a beacon of hope. Like a candle in the dark, it cuts through the gloom, spreading light and warmth in its wake. And just as a candle can light countless others without diminishing its own flame, so too does kindness multiply when shared. So how far can that little candle throw its beams? Farther than you might think. Each act of kindness, each good deed, has the potential to illuminate the darkest corners of our world. As we navigate through the trials and tribulations of life, let's remember the power of goodness, the power of kindness. Like a candle in the dark, each good deed brings light and warmth to the world around us. Let's delve into some heartwarming stories of kindness that have changed lives. Our first story takes us to a bustling city street. Amidst the cacophony, a small act of kindness unfolded, unnoticed by most. An elderly woman, unsteady on her feet, stood at the edge of a busy crosswalk. The light changed, the crowd surged forward, but she hesitated, her eyes filled with uncertainty. Suddenly, a young man stepped out of the crowd. He offered his arm and together they crossed the street. It was a small act, a few minutes out of his day. But to the elderly woman, it was a beacon of humanity in an often indifferent world. Next, let's journey to a small town. The local school was in desperate need of a playground, but the funding just wasn't there. A group of parents decided to take matters into their own hands. They started a fundraiser, organized community events, and even rolled up their sleeves to build the playground themselves. Slowly, their hard work began to pay off. The once barren schoolyard was transformed into a vibrant playground, filled with the laughter of children. The parents' act of kindness not only provided a safe place for children to play, but also brought the community closer together. Finally, let's visit a bustling hospital where a young nurse goes above and beyond for her patients. She often stays after her shift to read to the children in the pediatric ward. Her stories whisk them away to magical lands, providing a momentary escape from their reality. Her kindness doesn't stop there. She started a book drive, encouraging people to donate books to the hospital. The response was overwhelming. The hospital now has a mini library, providing comfort and solace to not only the children but also to adults during their hospital stay. The nurse's kindness has created a ripple effect, touching the lives of many. Each of these stories is a testament to the power of good deeds. A young man helping an elderly woman cross the street, parents coming together to build a playground, a nurse turning a hospital into a haven of stories. They all started as small acts of kindness but ended up making a significant difference. They are the candles that cast long beams of light into the darkness, the good deeds that shine in a weary world. These stories remind us that kindness is not always about grand gestures. Sometimes it's about the little things, the small acts of kindness that often go unnoticed. They're the smiles we share, the helping hand we extend, the comforting words we utter. They may seem insignificant, but to the person on the receiving end, they can mean the world. And just like that, a simple act of kindness can change a life. It's the power of goodness that makes the world a better place. Each good deed, no matter how small, can start a ripple effect. Imagine a calm, serene pond. You toss a pebble into the center, and what happens? Ripples form, extending out from the point of impact, reaching far beyond the initial splash. Just like that pebble, each act of kindness we perform can create a ripple effect of positivity and goodwill. This ripple effect isn't just a fancy metaphor, it's a real phenomenon grounded in psychology. When we witness, receive, or even hear about a good deed, it inspires us. It warms our hearts, lifts our spirits, and most importantly, it motivates us to pass it on. We want to replicate that feeling of joy and satisfaction, not just for ourselves, but for others as well. This is the beauty of the ripple effect. One good deed can set off a chain reaction of kindness. It can inspire a second good deed, which inspires a third, and so on. Each act of kindness becomes a link in a chain connecting people through positivity and compassion. Think about it. Maybe you've held the door open for someone, helped an elderly neighbor with their groceries, or paid for a stranger's coffee. These actions, though small, have the potential to inspire others. The person you helped may go on to help someone else, and the person who witnessed your act of kindness may be inspired to do the same. But the ripple effect goes beyond inspiring others to perform good deeds. It also fosters a sense of community and interconnectedness. It reminds us that we're all in this together, that every act of kindness, no matter how small, can make a difference. So the next time you're presented with an opportunity to perform a good deed, remember the ripple effect. Remember the potential impact your actions can have, how they can inspire others, and how they can help foster a more compassionate and kind world. Remember, every ripple starts with a single drop, so does every act of kindness. So, how can we bring this change into our own lives? Imagine for a moment, a world where each of us decides to extend a helping hand, a kind word, or a thoughtful gesture to someone else. A world where good deeds become the norm, not the exception. To create this world, we don't need to start with grand gestures or monumental acts. Instead, we start small. Like a candle's flame, small acts of kindness can illuminate the darkest corners. First, we can begin by practicing mindfulness. Being present in the moment allows us to recognize opportunities for kindness that we might otherwise overlook. It could be as simple as noticing someone struggling with heavy bags and offering to help, or just taking the time to genuinely ask someone how they're doing. Next, consider making kindness a daily habit. You could set a goal to perform one act of kindness each day. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. Perhaps you could compliment someone genuinely, offer your seat to someone in need, or even just share a smile with a stranger. Remember, kindness isn't only about our actions towards others, it's also about how we treat ourselves. So, practice self-kindness. Give yourself the same compassion and understanding you'd offer to a dear friend. Finally, as your comfort with these small acts grows, think about how you can make a larger impact. Maybe you could organize a community cleanup, mentor a young person in your field, or volunteer at a local charity. These larger acts of kindness create ripples that extend far beyond those immediately affected. And remember, kindness isn't a zero-sum game. Every act of goodwill adds to the collective goodness in the world, just like every candle lit dispels a bit more darkness. Start small, but start today. Be the change you wish to see in the world. In a world that can sometimes feel weary and worn, let your good deeds be the light that shines brightly, illuminating the path for others to follow. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Remember, every act of kindness, no matter how small, is like a candle that casts beams of light into the darkness. Throughout this journey, we've explored the power of goodness, heard inspiring stories of kindness, and discussed the ripple effect that one good deed can unleash. Each of us holds the power to be the change we wish to see in the world. It starts with a single act of kindness, creating a ripple of positive change that can reach far beyond our wildest imaginations. Your good deeds can illuminate the darkest corners, providing warmth and hope where it's needed most. These acts of kindness are the beams that make our world a brighter, better place. So go ahead, light up the world with your kindness, because just like a candle, so shines a good deed in a weary world.